Sure. My name is Dr. Don Reedy. I'm from Washington, D.C., the capital of the United States of America. And I teach English to freshmen and sophomore students here at Greenwich, Vietnam, so they can continue to study their majors and get a dual degree. I don't know that I'm proud of too much about anything in the United States right now, but my hometown's Washington, D.C., and there's a lot of museums and a really big zoo, and they're all free. And I didn't realize that was a rare thing until I moved to other cities and places charge you to see a museum or something like that. Yeah, so I think that would be pretty special, that there's all this knowledge that you can go and experience for free. I've been living in Vietnam for 6 years, and I came to Vietnam because I hate the snow. I used to live down south in Binh Nhung, and I used to live in Hai Phong, and I like the weather there a lot better than the weather in Hanoi. But in Hanoi, it doesn't snow, so that's okay. What inspired me to become a lecturer? Well, I have a doctorate in education, so working at a university is a pretty good job for someone with a PhD in education. It's like a natural thing. I've been working at universities for like 15 years or so. And as for what inspired me to become a lecturer, I thought about this question a lot because I think if you ask every teacher, they'll name maybe one person who really inspired them or whatever, but every teacher has like 50 teachers that they didn't like, that they swore that one day they would be a teacher and they wouldn't do it that way. So I think the negative experiences are more inspiring than the positive ones, at least in my past. And I think that's the same for all teachers. I think we generally become teachers because we kind of hated the teachers we had. But to answer your question directly, his name was Donald Grubb, and he was my sociology professor, and he was just the most interesting man I've ever learned from. I still remember very clearly some of his classes. Unfortunately, he died back in 2009, but reading his obituaries, it seemed like he was quite an inspiration to many, many students, having taught at many universities and such. So I would say Donald Grubb, but I would also say all those teachers I hated. Yeah. Well, I've been doing this for, almost 30 years. So I've worked and taught many, many, many places in many, many countries. But the way I think about it is every human interaction, you take something away and you leave something behind. And so throughout the years, I would like to think that my students have taken something away from my classes. And I, of course, clearly have learned something from them. I just believe that's the nature of human interaction. Every interaction involves taking something and giving something away, whether that's just a smile or an impression or knowledge, everything is connected, I think. Well, since I said I mostly work with, actually exclusively work with freshmen and sophomores, and they're still teenagers, so they still have that childish mindset. I mean, I still have a childish mindset, but I still know how to get the work done. So I've always felt that university is a time of transition between being a child and being an adult, and then you go and get a job. Like, this is the cocoon phase. You come in as a teenage caterpillar, and here you incubate, and then when you leave, hopefully you can be a butterfly and fly on to your destination or whatever you want. But the most enjoyable thing I've seen about working here so far is probably all the displays of students showing their work and their progress, and going up and asking them, what was your thought process in this, and then being able to articulate and explain their artistic vision or something like that. I think that's, a lot of the students here are very inspired and very talented, and I am not talented with art, so it's very interesting for me to experience that. I've been studying Vietnamese for 6 years. Anh có thể viết, anh có thể đọc, nhưng nhoi tiếng Việt rất khó. Okay, but I'll say my favorite phrase is Quốc sống mà. Quốc sống mà. Quốc sống mà. Exactly what I said. See what I mean? I can read, I can write, but no one understands me when I talk after 6 years. I'm going to have to say Banda Kua. Although I do not eat seafood because the ocean is a toilet, I find that Banda Kua has a certain flavor I enjoy. Back in Haiphong, I used to enjoy it quite a bit. I don't know. They say that as long as someone remembers you, you'll live forever. So I don't care. At least they remember something good. I don't know. Maybe I gave them a sticker one day when they were feeling down. Maybe I taught them to say correctly when pronouncing words, and they've carried that with them forever. So, I don't know. Like I said, I believe everyone takes something and leaves something behind with every personal interaction, so hopefully they're taking something good. And like I said, as long as someone remembers you, you'll live forever. So, maybe I'll live for like 5 years, I don't know.
Greenwich, change starts here.